Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Building Drawing 101. In this episode, I will show you how to approach drawing a simple floor plan. Now this floor plan will be a rectangular floor plan. It will be very simple. So here's the picture of the floor plan along with all the measurements. Okay, so here goes. When drawing a simple floor plan of this nature, we can start at any of the four given points, meaning the lower left hand corner, the lower right hand corner, the upper right hand corner, and the upper left hand corner. So I'm going to start at the lower left hand corner. I normally zoom out so that my drawing doesn't start all the way at the XY coordinate. At the zero mark, that is. So let's start around here. And if you notice, you can see the numbers, the coordinates moving. So I'll start at this point and I'll draw a point, a line going across. And this line is of no specific length. However, it has to be longer than the building width. So the width of the building would be the rooms, all the rooms going across combined. So that measurement, I'm assuming a measurement of 8,000 something. As you can see, 8,658. You don't have to type this measurement. You can just click. Once I click that line, from this point, I'm going to draw another line, a vertical line this time. Now this line will be longer than the length of the building going from front to back. And that around 13,000 is a good distance to carry the line. Now, for my walls, so this is my point, this is the lower left hand corner of the building. Now the walls that meet at this point, those are the walls I'm going to draw first. And for this particular exercise, for this particular building, I'll set my external walls at 150 millimeters, while my internal walls will be 100 millimeters. So I'll proceed to use the offset command, and I'll set my offset distance to 150. Then I'll offset both lines. I'm doing them inwards. You can do them outwards, but you'll always have to rejoin the lines. In this instance, I'll just have to trim these portions. I'll do that later. So once I have drawn the lines, the vertical and horizontal lines, and I have offset the lines, I can start drawing my rooms. By the way, these lines represent the external wall to the front. These lines represent the external walls to the back. Now, I am going to measure the first room. I can choose to measure vertically or measure horizontally. Now, the horizontal measurement for the room is 3,600. And the reason why I'm going to go with that horizontal measurement first before the vertical measurement is because, let me demonstrate. So I'm going to click on line. I'm going to place the cursor at this point, but rather than clicking the point, I'm going to use object tracking. So I'm just pulling the mouse away from the point before clicking the point. Then I'm going to type 3,600 for my first measurement. Once I've done that, I'm going to pull up this line. So this is the reason why I did this line first. And by the way, the wall thickness is 100 because it's an internal wall if you look on the drawing. And I'm going to offset in the same direction that I've measured. Now, the reason why I did this line first, this wall goes all the way back. So the longer walls, I tend to draw the longer walls first and then add the shorter walls after. Now, I've measured from this internal point, because this is inside the building, this is outside, and the internal measurement from the one wall of the room to the other wall is 3,600. Now, if I had offset this line to this direction, now the total measurement would no longer be 3,600. It would be 3,500. So I've measured in the same direction that I was measuring previously to ensure that I did not take away from that measurement. So from this point now, I'm going to do the same thing. Click the line command, put the cursor there, but I'm not clicking here. And then I'll type 3,600 once more, because that's the width or the longer measurement for the porch, the front porch. 3,600. And I'm going to pull this all the way up. As long as it's longer than the building. If it's shorter, you'll have to just extend later on. And this is an external wall, so I'm going to offset 150. And I have both external walls, the side external walls and the front external wall, and the internal wall that goes all the way from the front to the back. Now I am going to proceed to put in the rooms. So the first room, I know the width, or the length rather, the longer measurement. I'm going to start here, do the same thing. When you're measuring the rooms, you can select the line command, put the mouse, or the cursor, at the starting point where you want to measure. Then you pull the mouse in the direction that you want to measure. Then you type, and the length of this room is 4,200. And once I type that measurement, I'm now drawing the wall that separates this room from the bathroom. Now, always remember, once you are drawing a wall, you have to use offset to create the wall thickness, and in this case it's 100, it's an internal wall, before you proceed to measure the next room. If you measure, let me do an example here. So let me undo this offset. If I proceed to measure the room first, and this 1,800, what will end up happening is that after I offset this 100 afterwards, let me start that again. All right, let me show you something. From here to here would have been 1,800. Now look what happens when you do the offset after. So I'm offsetting 100. Now this room is no longer 1,800, as you can see. It's now 1,700. Now let's say to fix that problem, I would offset in the other direction. You're actually decreasing the measurement of the first room, and now it's no longer 4,200, it's 4,100, because you have to measure from the end of the wall to the end of the other. So that's why you should always, after drawing the line that separates the rooms, you have to draw the wall thickness by offsetting the wall in the direction that you're measured. So I was measuring upwards, I offset upwards. Now the next room will be the bathroom, so I'm going to measure 1,800. Then I go across. Then I'm going to offset that measurement 100. And since the 100 has been set, I just press enter. I don't have to retype the measurement. I'll only retype the measurement once I'm changing the measurement. Now the room at the back is also 4,200 millimeters in length, so 4,200 millimeters. This wall will be drawn all the way across. It doesn't matter if I stop it there or I'll extend it beyond. Then I'm going to offset it 150 millimeters, because it's an external wall. So notice the external wall is the wall, or the walls that are separating the inside of the building from the outside. So we're not quite through yet. there's a passage space that measures 1,200. So from this wall, from this corner, I'm going to measure, I'm going to track, object track, and type 1,200. So, and then I'm going to offset this measurement 100 millimeters in the same direction that I measured the line. All right, so this is the passageway. This is the bathroom. This is the room at the back. This is the room at the front. Now I'm going to proceed to measure the porch, and that's 1,800. Going back, then the internal wall would be 100. Then I offset that. Then the kitchen space is 2,400 from the back coming forward. So 2,400, and then you click that. Then I'm going to offset in the same direction that I was measuring. I was measuring down, so I'm offsetting down so as not to take away from the measurement that I've offset before. So now this is all the walls. This is all the walls. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim and fillet and do a lot of things so that this wall, the walls can end where they are supposed to end. So the first command that I'm going to use is the trim command. Then I'm going to trim this portion. If you are not so versed on trimming, if you're having issues with the trimming, please review the previous videos that were posted on using the various commands. So that's how trim is used. You can also use fillet. By default, the radius of fillet in AutoCAD is set to 0. So when you click on two lines, you will see a straight edge rather than a curved edge. So you click on both lines, you press enter to reactivate the last command that you used, which is in this case is fillet. Okay, now before I move on to trim the other parts, I am going to make a copy of this drawing. The reason why I'm making a copy of this drawing is so that in the future I can use this wall layout to create the other plans, like the foundation plans, roof plans, and all the other plans that are there to be created, side plans, etc. Okay, so I don't need so much, but I don't need that many. So this is the plan that we're working with. Let's get these out of the way so you don't see them. And we can shift this over some more for those who don't like it so close to the X and Y lines. Okay, so this is the plan. Now, before I even go ahead and trim the rest of portions like here, I am going to start inserting some door spaces and window spaces. Now, this is how I approach a building drawing. I normally draw the wall layout first, which is what I've just drawn. Then I continue by drawing the door spaces and openings first, and then the window openings or windows. After I've done that, then I'll proceed to enter the rest of